nei te timatanga o te ao. Ko tēnei te timatanga o te ao.
Kia ora, tēnā koutou katoa. Hello dear ones, my name is Sandi Murphy, yoga teacher, trainer, retreat facilitator and the founder of Nadi Wellness. I am delighted to invite you to join me here amidst the magnificence of my magical homeland here in Queenstown, Aotearoa, New Zealand. This 10-class series offers a multi-dimensional experience for your body, mind and soul. Through the practice of yoga as a living art, it is my wish that we, as co-creative beings, experience a feeling sense of our innermost self. As we gain a fuller appreciation of who we truly are, our essence expands out into the macrocosm of life, to other beings, to Mother Nature. May all beings everywhere be happy and free, and may we collectively contribute to the enlightening unfolding. Om Shanti. Peace. Namaste, dear ones. This practice is to awaken the earth element. May our sankalpa, our spiritual intention today, be to create grounding and stability in relationship to Mother Earth. May we come out of this practice feeling a sense of connectedness, of prosperousness, and of beautiful, sweet presence. Let's begin our practice with one sounding vibration of Om, inhaling deeply to clear the breath. So let's begin our practice lying on our back today. I'm going to need a strap, and perhaps if you've got a block handy at home, that would be amazing, just in case you need it as a receptacle of hope in any balancing postures. I'll get you to put that one at the front of your mat. And we'll just begin by laying down onto our back with the strap handy. Now I've already looped mine into a circle, but I'll give you a moment to do the same. Just taking one end of the strap through both buckles and then back through the other side. Or if you don't have a strap at home, you could always use a long belt. And what we're going to do is take the non-clasped end and put that around the back of the head, just at the position of the occipital ridge, and then just bringing the strap forward so that you can lay down comfortably to the ground. And then we're going to hook our feet into the end of the strap like so. And just gently allow a little hammocking to the bones of the neck, the spine, and just relaxing the arms to the side. We just come for a little moment to tune into our breath here and to recognize that this practice is awakening the architecture, the crystalline bones of our body in order to awaken that earth element. So the bones are the densest layer of the body and therefore a tribute to the earth element within us. So just taking some natural deep breaths here, inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose. Great. That's it. Making sure that's as comfortable as it can be. Amazing. Nice deep breaths. Establishing grounding through the breath by allowing the inhalation to be evenly matched with the exhalation. This breath practice known as samavriti or even rhythm. And it might be nice for your mind to attune to a number like 4 or 6. So breathing in for 4, breathing out for 4, or breathing in for 6 or out for 6. Just finding what your capacity is with that breath. Great, breathing in, breathing out. And after we've received a lovely initial traction to the occipital and to the neck, you can release the strap from behind the head, and we'll just adjust the strap to the position of the legs, bringing your left leg down long and engaged along the ground, and both straps into both hands initially, and just allowing your right leg to yield down towards your sternum chest, just gently creating a nice stretch into the back of the hamstrings to the calves. And keeping that natural rhythm of Samavriti pranayama as best you can. Inhaling deeply for 4 or 6. And exhaling for the same duration. Good, then we'll take a counterbalance with our left hand coming down onto the left hip bone, and let's start to slide the right leg out to the side. So you begin to create an opening through the inner right side thigh, the adductors. And if you have the capacity, maybe your elbow will come right down to the ground so you can get a really nice wide opening. I've got my feet dorsiflexed, and you can emphasize this for yourself too, where your toes lift up towards your kneecaps. And then gently bring the leg back through the center, switching both straps into your left hand, and then counterbalancing with the right arm out to the side as you bring your right leg across the midline. And just allowing that outer skirt of the iliotibial band, also known as the ITB, to gain a little bit of length. Keeping the breath rhythm nice and even. Once again, if the elbow can come down, if you can get that extra little bit of untangling of the tightness, and that might be good. Good, then we'll bring the legs slowly back to center. L-shape the left leg up, let's switch it, looping the left foot into that hook of the strap, and then the right leg can come out long. And we'll repeat the same pattern on the other side. So just gently yielding the left leg in towards the sternum chest. So it's like you're drawing it down towards your heart. Energizing the feet, dorsiflexed, and again attuning your breath rhythm, feeling that evenness of the inhale, the evenness of the exhale. Good, taking both straps in your left hand now, bringing the leg into an external position as it draws out to the left side. Your right hand can just counter the weightedness of that left leg by putting that hand on the hip. That's it. And maybe the elbow comes down if you can get a little bit more space. Great. Preparing to bring the leg back to the center nice and slowly, and transitioning right hand to hold both straps now, and bringing the leg across the midline of the body to the right side. And just counterbalancing that out with the left arm to the left side, breathing deeply. And just allowing through the breath, through the static positions of the shapes, to create that sense of grounded support, that feeling of stability. That's it, one more breath here. Leg comes back to center. And then we'll just gently unloop the foot with the strap, bringing the strap out to the side, and hug both knees into the chest. And just giving the sacrum a little rock from side to side as you just loosen out that lower back. And then we'll have a little bit of fun here, bringing the hands in behind the hamstrings, and we'll take a little rock and roll to bring ourselves up to a different position. So just rolling a few times. Pretty interesting here for me on this slightly uneven ground. Just crossing your feet at the top, bringing your hands to shoulder distance apart, knees come back and behind. And if you can gate your your knees out to the widest edges of the mat and your big toes come together, sit bones yield back. So a few things you can think about here. If you're at home and you're finding that's a long way down with your head, you could always stack one fist and then the other to give yourself a little bit of space. Or if you've got the space, then forehead to ground. Just gently anointing the earth with your brow center. Re-establishing that Samavriti pranayam, nice deep inhales, matched by long releasing exhales. We're just opening up into the bones of the body a little bit more now, bringing that presence awareness to visualize the bony structure, your skeleton, as the framework, the crystalline architecture of your body. Gives us form, gives us shape, and beautifully when we work with the bones we create better posture. So we'll walk our hands towards the left side first, and as you find as much space to the left side, the whole of the torso walking out to the left, you can slide your left hand beside your bent knee on that left side and stack the elbow perpendicular to the wrist. Keep reaching through the fingers to create a traction now between the right rib bones. So you'll feel here as you reach quite strongly forward through the fingers that there's plenty of sort of space being created between those bones of the ribs. Now direct your breath to the spaces between the bones. Really send the breath into that gap where the intercostal muscles are, where sometimes fascia becomes a little gluey and tight. And allow your exhalation to unglue some of that tightness. So you're really surrendering the front carriage of the body, softening into the shape as you breathe. And let's walk the left arm forward, both hands back to center. And then to the other side, moving off center to the right. And then again, emphasizing out the stretch through the left arm. Right hand beside right knee, elbow stacks, and you can gently ground down through that right hand to help leverage the stretch a little bit more. Direct the breath to the left side waist, breathing into the left rib cage. And just to emphasize that traction even more, you can imagine your left sitting bone grounding back towards your left heel. So some beautiful space there that you can create between your rib bones. Gives a bit more room for the lungs and the heart within that rib cage to have more space, more ease. Walk the hands back to the center. One more breath here in child's pose, inhaling and exhaling. Transitioning by bringing your hands back towards your knees, stacking the hands shoulder distance apart, and then sandwiching the knees in so that they align directly underneath your hip bones. So you're in a posture here known as all fours. What we want to do is create first a grounding through the hands, so we emphasize the support down through the fingertip pads. So the knuckles are not so much bolted straight, there's a slight curve. And then also the heels of the wrists are really earthed in. You can then attend to the top of the feet, the shins, and find a similar quality there as they ground down. So in order to cultivate yielding in our practice, which is a beautiful principle for allowing relationship with the earth, that's a two-way street, giving and receiving, we want to find the middle ground or the ease point. So in order to find that, let's look at two ends of the spectrum. The first end of the spectrum would be to over effort, or what we call prop. So if I was to get you to just come with me in this little laboratory for a moment and pressure down through your hands and your fingers and your legs so much that you felt like you were going to kind of internally implode, you can feel there's a lot of tension there, a lot of almost what we could call stress, and then release that and go to the other end of the spectrum, to what we call under efforting or collapsing. And that might be like how we hang out in a queue at the supermarket, that kind of slouching quality. Not much energy in that, it feels really unintegrated. So finding the middle ground there then, in this yielding way between under-efforting and over-efforting. Right in the middle, we're in relationship to earth in a beautiful way. There's reciprocity, there's an even balance of giving and receiving. Once you've established that, we'll begin to take some easy counter cat motions to mobilize the spine. So let's inhale to create an extension in the spine, drawing the heart forward and spreading the sit bones back. As you draw the sternum bone under and hook the tailbone under, come into cat stretch, really rounding the upper back and creating a flaring between the shoulder blades. Flowing with your breath now, inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale, and it's like a concertinaing of the bones, like a domino effect. You want to try and articulate each bone to the next bone to the next bone, so that the spaces between the bones become a little bit more easeful and movable. That's it. Great, we'll settle back in the middle and then coming into flying all fours. The right arm's going to reach forward and the palm faces the midline. Temptation to hug that shoulder around the ear. Rather retract it back so your neck can telescope long and then float up through your opposite left leg. This will start to wake up your core, bring a bit of heat into the mix. Great, so once you're balancing, once you're steady, we'll start to move elbow to knee to create a little squeeze, hovering and suspending both those limbs under the body. Inhaling to lengthen out and exhaling to squeeze. Inhaling to really widen out the bones and then draw them to close. Next time we open out, let's pause, hold and rearrange the leg. Left heel comes in and the right hand's going to move back around to catch the top of the foot. If you can't quite catch the foot, just have the hand attempting to. That's fine. We're working along the way. Once you've got the connection, or if you do, push your foot back into the resistance of the hand and float the chest up. This is called half bow or Ardha Danurasana. Really nice extension for the spine, builds strength and wakes up all those integral muscles to help with stability. Great. I'm going to bring just our right hand down, re-earth it, and then pivot the right foot to the right side of your mat. So you can look to the back of your mat and ground your left foot down. Coming into side plank, just a half variation. Left arm up to sky. And we can just check in that our bones here are stacked. We ideally want our bones to be verticalized so that they are safest and less stressed. So if I look down at my bottom arm, and you can check this too, my shoulder, my elbow, and my wrist are in a straight line or stacked, the joints. Right, you can then float up your left leg and just have a little play with balance if you'd like. Great. Bring the foot down, reset, hips spin back to the center. Take a couple of breaths to re-establish that yielding principle, the equanimity between both giving your weight down into Mother Earth and receiving her nourishing support, rebounding back up. Good, now let's float the left palm forward to face the midline. Again, just demonstrating on this side what not to do. It might look like this to you if you're really reaching the arm forward, but what that does is it compacts the neck. So slide the shoulder back, let the neck be long, and then float up your right leg. Energizing the foot to dorsiflexion and keep reaching through the fingers, long and strong. Good, breathing deep. Exhale, squeeze. Opposite elbow to opposite knee. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to squeeze. Inhale to lengthen. That's it. Exhale, one more to squeeze. Hover, suspend, use your core. Inhale, float, lengthen. And now rearrange the leg. Right heel hooks in and the left arm orbits back around to somewhat find the foot. Some of you may not be able to do so. That's fine. We must listen to where our body's at and be really honourable of that. If you can catch the toes, then press the foot into the resistance of the hand. Gain a little bit of altitude with the chest floating and the eyes slightly forward. Keep breathing. Ardha Danurasana, half bow. Left hand grounds down. Left foot pivots to the left side this time. And I'll give you the other side as a view. Right arm up. You can place the right foot down. So you're coming into half side plank. And again, just feeling into that verticality of the joints of the arms all the way through. Maybe your eyes can look up. Maybe you could float the right leg. And just feeling that awakening of the muscles of the glutes. And feeling this alignment of your bones too. Let's bring the foot down and reset. Coming into our next pose. Downward facing dog pose, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Let's tuck the toes first, wake up the core just a little bit by hovering and suspending the knees, feeling once again that quality of yielding, giving and receiving equally, and then into downward dog. And that'll be a joy just to come in there and iron out the legs. Let's pedal our heels back one and then the other a few times. Establishing that quality of grounding through the toes, which are just like energy roots really. So you can think of your toes as always extending longer than they actually are physically. Helps you feel more earthed. So when you're in downward dog, be mindful here to keep a micro bend at the knees so that you've got space in your lower back to spread your sit bones wide. Check that you've got a lovely balance through your hands, fingers wide, and a bit more weight to the index thumb side of the hands. That's it. We're going to take a step-by-step walk from the back of the mat towards forward fold. So each step along your mat, along your path, is with purpose, with grounding, and with that easeful quality. Let's bring our fingers just slightly forward of the feet, hip bone distance apart, a little wider perhaps, and just check in. Forward fold is to hang the spine, let it traction. You can nod out your head and bring your hands to each of your elbows, please. And as you hang upside down here, just really feel into that lovely traction of your spine bones. The head that can nod like a ball off the end of a string. And maybe you could pendulate side to side with the upper back a little, just to accentuate that loosening and releasing. And flow the arm bones out of the shoulder bones and begin to imagine your tailbone as a grounding cord that begins to plummet right down. So if you're in a building or levels up in a building, you want to really create a moment here to earth yourself energetically. So the earth's not far away from me here, but it might be for you in terms of physically. So if you are in a building or in a room, can you imagine your tailbone sending an anchor down into the ground, into the real earth? Once you have that visualization in Tadasana, mountain pose, we'll bring our hands together in prayer. So in the yoga philosophy, there is a sutra known as Sthira Sukham Asanam. And it means, it's like a little prayer or a little mantra for remembering that our earth, our bones, our body, can be in a quality connection with the earth itself. So another way to say that might be, may our connection to the earth be steady, but also easeful or sweet. And so we come from this place through our movements, through our connection. Let's take Surya Namaskar A, creating a little more flow now. Inhaling, reaching to Uhtthita Hasta Padangustasana. As you exhale, hinge from hips to flow forward, bend Uttanasana. Inhale to halfway lift And might I suggest you bring your fingers to your shins, some of you, so that you can really get some height through your sternum chest. Ground the hands and step back to first plank pose. And here, as we arrive in Plankhasana, check in that your shoulders are right above your wrists and that you've got some ability to kind of swivel your hips. We never want the plank to be tucking under and creating tension or compression through the belly. So it's a little bit more primordial to imagine yourself like a panther or a tiger, but in a way, this is what plank is best to be. So we come into plank, take another breath, bringing knees to chest to chin to the ground. And your sternum, chest and your pubic bone lands at once. Elbows, hug them into the side waist. And let's, in this first round, give you this option here. So hands, when they're floating, will build a lot more strength in the lower back. So you've got that lovely erector spinae muscle that can support in this floating position. Tempting to lift the feet like this, keep them down, keep them grounded. We'll transition, hands down, tuck the toes. Downward facing dog pose, and let's just hold here for 5 decent breaths. Nice deep inhalations through the nose, feeling that presence awareness filter down into, scintillate your bones. So every time you're breathing here, you can really visualize the strength, the support of your bony structure. These amazing bones which have 3 layers to them. The skin of the bone, the periosteum, slides and glides against the other tissues. The density of the middle part of the bone that's a little bit like a honeycomb, has a few little sort of spaces in it which allows the bones to be a little lighter sometimes or able to be strong. And then the marrow of the bone, the central streamline of the bones that has that sort of blood coursing through it, production of the red blood cells. Just really breathing into your bones here. One more inhale. And as you bend your knees, prep to come forward. You can step your feet, I'll give you that option this round. And then halfway lift again, inhale, fingers to shins. Exhale, forward fold to empty. Hinge from the hips, arms come to the sides. To rise, inhale, palms meet. Exhale, Samastitihi. Back into that place of balance and equanimity. Tadasana. Flow again, round 2, inhale, reach for the sky. And as you exhale, bow to Mother Earth with gratitude for all she gives you, all that nourishment, all that support. Fingers to shins, halfway lift. Exhale, ground the hands to the base, step back into Plankhasana. One more time, inhale here. Option, you can stay knees chest as I demonstrated last round, or you could come with me in full press chaturanga. So this variation transitions not into cobra, but into upward facing dog. So those of us wanting to come through here, will drop down, flip the feet, and then shine that sternum bone forward, pubic bones up off the ground, and you're putting a lovely pressure through the top of the feet. Take a nice big breath. Exhale, downward facing dog. Once again, 5 deep breaths here to really presence your awareness to the crystalline bones of your body. Bringing in the energy vibration of connection through your inhalation and allowing your exhalation to transmute out any sense of disconnection in your body. So you're breathing in connection, and breathing out any disconnected feelings or thoughts. Soften the knees, prepare to step, walk, or I'll demo this time a little jump through, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Rise, lift, inhale. Exhale, Samastitihi. And coming back into that prayer position, that reset button of Tadasana mountain pose. You know, it's just this pose, repose, That's kind of like an analogy for life, that we take these moments to do what we do, and that we definitely remind ourselves to take these moments just to be, to receive, to digest our life's experiences, these moments, just to feel. One more round of Surya Namaskar A. Inhale, reach to the sky space, all the way up to that infinite space. Fold, hinge from the hips to forward bend, feeling into the ground space. Inhale, fingertips to shins, halfway lift. Exhale, you can step back to plank, or another variation might be to jump back chaturanga, absorbing the impact as you descend. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, slow release, downward facing dog. 5 deep breaths. And once again, you can call in that sense of connection, that energy vibration of what you understand connection to be, and release and breathe out any disconnection, which might be dissonance in your mind, distraction of some kind, or something else. Good. From that steadiness of downward facing dog, let's take one more breath. Inhale. Exhale. Soft knees, step walk, or float like a butterfly landing on a log, halfway rise. Exhale to fold. Up to Uhtthita. Inhale. Exhale, Samastitihi, prayer pose. And that reset, recalibration of Tadasana. Just to feel your energy, to feel your presence, to feel your connection, and to feel that sense in your whole body mind of prosperousness. Like an enlivened sense of happiness, tuning in. Great, and then we'll begin our first standing wave sequence. So I'll get you to come to look down towards your feet and just check in that you've got all your toes connected. Let's lift all of our toes up off the ground for a moment here and see what the dexterity of our feet feels like today. I challenge you to try to put each toe down, one individually and then the next. Let's start with the little toe, then the second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and then the big toe. And you might have heard of a little thing here in New Zealand called hobbit's feet. So if you can get that nice hobbit's foot landing with your feet, you get a really quality sense of ground. One day my goal is to play the piano with my toes. It might be a big ask. The beautiful thing to check in too is that we've got actually the same dexterity in our toes as in our hands. So if I was to do the same with my hands, it's easy because we use our hands all the time. So the challenge is to get our toes as competent, but you know, that might take getting the shoes off from time to time, getting your feet on the ground and letting your feet really feel the earth. So good for us. Reduces inflammation and all sorts of things. So we're going to come into really grounding through our feet. You've got that awareness in your feet now. Let's plant the weight down through the trunk of the right leg first to come into tree pose. Tree pose, grounding the leg, energy roots of the toes digging right down deep, left foot to inner right side thigh. So we're going to bring it up and take some balance here. The trick, if you feel a little wobbly, as I'm on uneven ground, it is a little wobbly. The trick here is to really magnetize the inner thigh to the foot and at the same time compress the foot into the thigh. Once you've got that connection, you can bring your hands to prayer. And then the same thing. Hands to hands energized, elbows slightly lifted, eyes to your drishti point. Point your eyes and focus, breathe. In this first round, we're going to take a hovering of the left knee off the end of the tree, Left hand to front of left knee and right arm vertical V to the sky, so it comes right up high. Journey your left knee out to the side so you come into this little variation here. Good, still focusing, still breathing. Amazing. You're doing great, I know you are. Bring your left knee back to the center, coming into Warrior 3. So this is like a capital T. As we transition, bring our hands to prayer and pendulate the left leg back here. So the heart sternum bone is buoyant. It's kind of hovering here and you're energized long and strong through the back leg. That's it. Now bend your right leg a lot to land your left foot down and descend your left knee to the ground. We're down here in a low lunge. Just take a moment to feel the lunge. Bring the arms up again into that vertical V and express the bones of your spine long from the tail to the crown, all the way lifting the finger bones wide. Let's take flow. Chest lays along front thigh and the fingers like beautiful long rays of light stream behind. We're going to go from this shape back to low lunge a few times. With the breath, inhale, low lunge. Exhale, half arrowhead. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, half arrowhead. Inhale one more time to low lunge. Pause, retract from the depth of the lunge just a little bit to wake up this psoas muscle. This will help release your lower back as it comes from the front of the thigh and through the belly towards the lower back. So you're really feeling that stretch. Good, bring your hands together in prayer. Descend the hands here to heart prayer and then twist to the right. Feel the rib bones of your left side spiral around the central spine and anchor your left elbow in. As you keep your palms compressing, create that spin. Breathe as best you can to the space that you can feel here around the compression. As we prepare to transition, I get you to bring the left ball of your foot under. So you've got a little bit of a base at the back there. Imagine a backstroke in swimming. As I unleash my hands and my arms from this bind, the left arm's going to lead forward and follow behind. Right arm follows, left hand to left Achilles heel. And we take this moment here to express back, gentle back bend. That's it. Swim the arms forward stroke until the left hand lands to the inside of the right foot. The right arm continues round, low lunge twist. Here's the fun bit. Option 1, left foot pivots to the left side of the mat and the right foot comes back into half side plank. Again, you want to check in that this shoulder, elbow, wrist is verticalized. You could then play with floating up your right leg. The other option is to come into full Vasisthasana side plank by taking the bottom foot and grounding the lateral outside edge of that left foot down, stacking the right foot on top of the left foot, and then coming into the full expression. Some of you, if you've got a more advanced practice, might then float up the right leg. So you've got options always. Whichever option you've taken, we're all coming round, back into plank, back into vinyasa. Knees, chest or full press. Upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And take a few really lovely deep breaths. If anyone finds that they need a bit more rest, you could always choose from down dog to come knees to the ground. Just take a sneaky little child's pose. A few breaths here if you're feeling a little tired or you need a little bit more of a refuel. So whether you've chosen child's pose or you're still in downward facing dog, let's prepare one more breath to transition. Inhale deeply. Exhale completely. Here's the entry this time, slightly different. Listen up. Right foot's going to step forward and land on the outside of the right hand. The left foot then does a little same outside the left hand. And then you're going to come down into squat malasana. And this is about one of the most grounding poses I know. I absolutely love this pose. I hope you do too. If you've got troubles getting your heels down, I know some of you will have that as a thing. You could always put a blanket under your heels or a couple of pillows. It just gives you a wee bit more support. Whether you practice this at home at another time or you've got them within reach now, always helpful. Otherwise, we just take this time to feel into that earthiness. Beautiful release to the hips, the lower back. And then let's continue. Ground the hands down, parallel the feet in, and drape the spine. We're going to bring the arms out to the side. Inhale, raise, palms meet. Exhale, Samastitihi. As always, repose, reset in Tadasana. This mountain range here is called the Remarkables. So you can find in your mountain pose that remarkable sense of connection, presence, and reciprocity to Mother Earth. Whether you're in a building, whether you're in a high rise, wherever you are, just tuning into that quality vibration of Mother Earth and her steadiness, the support and nourishment. Let's plant our tree. Other side this time, roots down. Left leg as the trunk. The toes as energy roots that penetrate deep. Right foot to inside left thigh. Let's create that magnetism, foot to thigh, thigh to foot, hands to prayer. Steady the eyes to your drishti. This time we're going to express the arms open higher and just taking a little moment to challenge the pose a little bit more. In tree pose with branches of the arms up to the light. Hover the right knee and prepare from here to come into warrior three. Oh, actually, excuse me, let's add this bit in first. Right hand to the front of the right knee and bringing that knee out to the side. You don't want to miss that little cheeky opening to the hip. You've got it. Now knee back to center. And now warrior three, pivoting the right leg backwardly, hands to prayer. Like a capital T, steady the eyes, energize the thighs. Ooh, that one's a little wobbly. And here's the thing, you know, we're gonna fall out of balances. I've been teaching for 15 years and given a rough surface, I'm challenged too. All right, to high lunge, land the foot. To low lunge, ground the right knee. And when you're coming into that, you can just again check your form, that the left foot is right underneath the left knee, arms to the vertical V, and preparing to come from low lunge to half arrowhead. Inhaling here, exhaling to here. 3 of these. Inhale, rise, building strength. Exhale, flow. Inhale, rise. Exhale, flow. Next time, low lunge, pause. Really feeling that slight retraction from the depth of the lunge to wake up again that psoas muscle. Good. As you're ready, bring your hands to prayer. Descend the hands here to heart center. Prepare to spin. Right rib cage rotates around the central spine towards the left side. Elbow bone digs into outside knee bone. And again, we compress the palms. Feeling the arrangement, the containment of the bony structure of the body, creating this lovely twist. Breathing space around the contraction. And remembering that opportunity to release from the contraction into more expansion as you unwind. So as we do unleash, the right arm leads, it's like a reverse swim to right Achilles, left palm follows, faces down. And just establishing the shape, finding any little nuances of the shape that give you more room to breathe. And then we'll forward stroke the swim so that the right hand comes in to the inside left foot. Left arm energizes up. Got that moment in low lunge twist. Nice deep inhales, long releasing exhales. Prepare to pivot your right foot towards the right side of the mat. Ground the left foot down at the back. Parallel the lateral edge of your foot to the end of the mat and organize your bones. Make sure the bones are stacked. Option 1 here, you could lift the left leg again like we did in the beginning. Option 2 is to bring the right foot straight and under, stack the left foot on top, side Vasisthasana. Option 3, if you're feeling keen, become the sun today. Spray your rays, your limbs out all directions, gain that height, and then either way from whichever shape, reset round into plank. This time we're coming into a different connecting vinyasa. We're going to drop our knees down, bring our chest, chin and pubic bone to ground. Elbows almost graze the rib bones once again. I'm going to pause and prepare to come into Shalambhasana. So Shalambhasana is the first variation here of locust pose. We want to zip up our inner thighs, point the toes, and bring the arms beside the body, palms inward facing. Now lift the chest and lift the toes. And imagine how long you can be here. So this pose very much is more about how long you can be than how high you come. Everything's online. I've got my glutes firing up, my hamstrings. There's strength in my arms. My eyes are slightly downward facing. I'm not jutting my chin like so. That would compress the back of my neck. So keep the chin down. Good, and breathe deep. From Shalambhasana, first variation of locust, take a little pause, relax. Oh, now that should feel sweet. Right cheek down, take a big breath in, and big breath out. Turn the left cheek down, look the other way, take a big breath in, and take a big breath out. Come back to center with the forehead, and then bring the arms around, coming into half bow variation prone. So your right arm comes forward, elbow to wrist, palm down, and your left arm is going to orbit back to catch the toe. Now, I'm on the little pinky toe side of my foot, and I'm going to push the foot away from my hand, which gives me a little bit more rise through the chest. Can you feel that? For anyone who's got a little bit of a stronger practice, a more open body perhaps, you could always bring your hand on the inner side of that arch of the foot and have a little bit more space to rise. So you're just getting a nice little half bow there. That's it. Amazing. Good, swap sides, bring the left elbow down to left forearm wrist, and we'll circuit the right arm around to catch the other toes, pushing the toes against that resistance of the handhold, either side, whatever works for your body. Just be really mindful to work within your limitations and not to prop or over effort yourself. Okay, great. Bring the arm down and we'll return, hands snug in under shoulders. You could try a reverse press if you have the upward strength, or you could come back through knees. I'll demo the upward press. Come back to plank, hold pause, inhale, exhale, downward facing dog. Just take a few extra breaths here. Balancing, breathing in connection, and breathing out any dissonance or sense of disconnection. Let that go, free that up. And preparing to come back to the front through that same journey as we did the previous round, Malasana squat. Extra option this time, you can step your feet as I showed previously, or you can bend your knees, glance forward, and bunny hop. You bring your elbows against your inner knees, hands to prayer, lifting up here through the sternum bone and grounding down, deeply penetrating earth with the tailbone. Just take that moment, breathe in, breathe out. Adding a little something this time as we bring our hands down and prep to toe heel the feet in, they'll parallel. Bring your hands to interlace behind your sacrum. Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift, knuckles press back, and as you exhale, fold, rinsing out that bony structure of the shoulders, all the shoulder girdle, and cleansing the neck. On the inhale, hinge from hips, arms come to the side, palms raise and meet. Exhale, Samastitihi. Hands beside the body, coming back into Tadasana, mountain pose. Resourcing that presence awareness, resourcing that connection, and feeling prosperity through your bones, through every bone of your body. So we're going to come into one more standing flow round before our floor work or our grounding finishing poses. So just a few little add-ins here. Similar flow, just a few little extra challenges, options. So let's start in tree pose. Same flow, right leg anchors, left foot to inner right thigh. Bring your hands to prayer. Take a moment here to balance. Hover the left knee. Catch the inside big toe with your left index third peace fingers, like so. So this is option 2. Option 1, same as we did previously, you can just hold your hand to the front of the knee and open, right? We've already done it, you can repeat. This is option 2. Uhtthita Hasta Padangustasana. So you're going to lengthen your left leg, like you did with the strap at the beginning. It's nice and long, and then open it to the left side. Leg comes back to center, or your bent knee. And then if you're going to go with me on straight legs, pendulate the left leg behind to warrior 3. Others of you will just bend the leg and bring it back. Beautiful. This time we're going to land the foot and stay in high lunge, inhaling arms to high lunge, and then flowing for 3 to arrowhead. Good, so we've got that charge through the fingers and the crown like an arrow forward. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale to arrowhead. Inhale, high lunge. One more of those. Exhale, arrowhead to high lunge. Pause. Take a moment to feel that grounding. Kiss the left knee down. One lunge. Stand to a peak point with the hands in prayer. Bring the hands down. Prepare for high lunge twist now, rotating the left rib cage around the central spine to the right side. Elbow digs in. Take a moment to energize the back leg. It will sometimes go saggy, so really brighten it up. Press out through the back heel and hold. If it's enough of a balance to keep your hands in prayer, then do so. If you'd like to come with me a little wider, spread the left fingers outside the right foot and the right arm to the sky. Either way, we're going to reverse to warrior 2, crossing the midline. Inhale, left heel grounds, warrior 2. Great. And feeling the power and the strength of the foundation of the legs, like the bottom of the mountain, gravitational, the lightness and the levity of the upper body, able to still go with the flow. Reverse warrior 2, inhale, swim the arms, hands frame front foot, left hand grounds in, right arm shoots up, high lunge, low to twist. Preparing side plank, dropping the knee, option 1, coming into this variation of side plank, or drop to the outer edge of the left foot and stack. Vasisthasana, side plank. Some of you to this variation. Great. Reset, plankasana, slowly through chaturanga. Upward dog, exhale, downward dog, and breathe. Breathing in presence. Breathing out the distractions. Breathing in connection. Breathing out any sense of disconnection. And preparing to come back to the front through Malasana, bend the knees, step or jump. Hands to prayer, reorganize that grounded quality, recalibrating, finding the steady rhythm of the breath. Reverse, feet parallel in, hands to the sacrum, half lift, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. The arms sail out to the side and the hinge of the hips opens the front body. Come back to Uhtthita Hasta to Samastitihi. And reset yourself in Tadasana. The mountain that stands strong, the gravity that pours through the legs to the feet, and the heart and the lightness and levity of the upper body. Feeling that balance, feeling that relationship. Good, and from that connection, let's flow one last time through the other side, starting with tree. Left leg grounds in, right foot to inside left thigh. Hands to prayer pose. Options here, preparing. 1, hand to front of the knee and then opening. Or 2, option 2, index third to inside big toe of the right leg. Uhtthita Hasta Padangustasana. And then leg to center, knee bent or straight, warrior 3. Good, yielding the right foot down, inhale, high lunge to arrowhead. High lunge, inhale to arrowhead. Inhale, high lunge. Pause, get really grounded through the foundation of the legs, kiss the right knee down. To standing tall, palms to a chalice point above the crown, hands to prayer. Right rib cage twist to the left side. And once again, coming into that quality of earthing, feeling the connection, keeping your breath's connection. Some of you expanding your wings. We've got a bird here in New Zealand in Dunedin called an albatross, and it's got the widest wings you've ever seen. Look it up. Albatross wings. Amazing. Open out to warrior 2. Reverse warrior 2. Exalt the warrior. And then swim the arms. Reground right hand, turn the left arm up, low lunge twist. Preparing our side plank, right? Option 1, knee down, Outside edge of left foot parallel with end of mat. You can float the leg as you work to strengthen your core. Or option 2, outside lateral edge of right foot grounds down, left foot stacks on top, under waist hikes up, Vasisthasana, side plank. Option 3, coming with me to the star that you are, brilliantly shining on this day. Okay, ready? Round to plank, or some of you could go 3-limbed chaturanga down. We're going to pause on our belly. Okay, bring your elbows forward, take your legs a little wider, and just take a little moment here in Vrikshasana, Sphinx pose. Breathing here to allow the back to bend, the pubic bone to ground, feeling the legs really earthed here. And preparing to come into full bow. It's our back bending sequence. We did the half bow in the previous round, so we're well warmed up today for this one. Chest comes down, both feet hook in, and both hands wrap to catch the feet. Now I've got my hands on the outer side of my feet. If you've got more flexibility or you want to try it, your hands may come on the inside of the soles of the feet with the thumb at the mound of the big toe. I'll do the first variation with you. We're going to press our feet into dorsiflexion, and then we're going to press down into the pubic bone. Heart lifts, and with the breath's momentum, allow a gentle rising up and down. And just once again, be very mindful that you're not jutting your chin and compressing the back of your neck. Chin tilts down to the sternum bone. And when you're ready, relax. Oh, it's merciful just to lie down, rest the cheek. Take a big breath in, big breath out. And then switch to the other side, left cheek down, big breath in, big breath out. Forehead to center. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders, zip up the inner thighs. Nice and slow, as if you were 108 years old. So nice and mindful by that stage. You're going to come back to child's pose. So pressing into hands, pressing into knees, sit bones to heels, and release. Let's draw our arms forward, slide both hands back to the knees, thighs, and coming into an upright spine in this pose of heroine or hero's seat. Just taking a moment to feel the sweetness and the steadiness, benefits of your practice so far. Stira Sukham Asanam. May our connection to the earth be steady and joyful. So that's our connection to our own earth and our own body, and that translates from that micro connection out into the macrocosm of the planet, right? This connection we have to Mother Earth, may that also be steady and joyful. Let's bring our sit bones to one side, thread the legs forward, and prepare to come here into the forward fold of Paschimottanasana, or seated forward fold. Feet here are alert but not tense. So back in the 80s we kind of alarmed our toes. We don't want that. A yielding quality is not to prop or over effort them, not to collapse them and sag them off with nothing to do either, but somewhere in the middle. Once we've got that and our legs are bright, we can raise our arms, inhale. And leading from chest to pull forward, And just allowing the hands to rest, settle wherever is natural, perhaps outer sides of the legs or on the shins. For some of us, as far as the toes, perhaps. Taking a few breaths to feel the alignment of the spine, the earthiness of the bones of the legs. And at a certain point, when it feels sweet and easeful to you, soften your chest and allow yourself to surrender. And when we come into these forward folds and these closing shapes, we get the chance to interiorize our attention, to draw our attention more inwardly. And that allows us to attune to our presence, to what we can feel inside our body, any change. And prepares us beautifully for the quality of relaxation as we drop and settle into the ground of our beingness. Let's take 2 more breaths here in Paschimottanasana. And gently beginning to walk with purpose in each step, the hands from the feet towards the shins, back up past the knees to the thighs, feeling the spine upright. And then with fingers beside your sit bones, bring your sit bones forward. Come into a little mini boat, feet float to the height of the knees and the palms also balancing, upward facing. Just a little moment to feel that integration of the core, feeling your strength, your resilience, this connection and this presence that you have cultivated through the practice, more prominent now. To dish pose, a little wider, holding just a little bit more of your strength's capacity. And then slowly as you yield down, begin to hug the knees in. A little rock to your sacrum might feel nice here, side to side. Maybe some little circulations. And just nourishing those sacroiliac joints. Good, feet spaced hip distance apart. We'll take a little reverse pigeon. Right ankle foot crosses over the left knee. And the right arm threads between the legs so that you can catch the back of the hamstring here or the front of the shin. Now ideally, once you've got that leg position, rest the head back down and gently draw in through the leg. If you keep your feet dorsiflexed, toes a little brighter, that should allow a little bit more opening in your hips. Beautiful, everyone. Ground down your left foot, unlace the right foot, back into a constructive position of rest. Left ankle foot then crosses over the right knee. Left arm between both legs, holding the back of the hamstring, the front of the shin. Just gently draw that leg in. And again, calming the mind and the body through that rhythmical, even tone of the breath. Good, reset. Right foot regrounds, unlace the left leg. Now bring your hips slightly off center to the left side, flat your feet to the height of your knees and spread your arms out shoulder height. Both knees cross over to the right side as you come into reclining supine twist. Your right hand can support on the top of that left knee as your chest, heart and closed eyes turn to the left side. Just feeling that lovely spiralization of your spine bones. This is beautiful for releasing and calming the nervous system in preparation for relaxation. And from that position, back to center with both knees. Reground the feet and reset the hips to the center. Other side, take the hips off center to the right, both at once. Feet to the height of the knees, flexed. Knees right above the hips and arms out shoulder height, drop both knees to the left side. Once you're in the reclined supine twist, you can anchor your legs with your left hand and gently spin your heart, your eyes on the inside to the right side. And when you're ready, you can draw the knees back into center. Re-earth the feet, reground the pelvis, and gently taking your final pose, happy baby pose, Ananda Balasana. So the knees, feet come wide on either side of the bowl of the belly. Stack the feet above the knees and reach hands to inner arches or the outer edges of the feet. As you draw the feet down vertically towards the knee bones, you can feel that lengthening in your lumbar spine, releasing into the hips, and maybe just a little rock from side to side as you lullaby yourself in preparation for yogic sleep. And just when you're ready, you'll come into this shape of Shavasana for final relaxation, lengthening the legs out, keeping the palms of the hands upward facing. Maybe if you've got something handy to slide under your knees, a pillow or a blanket. And as you settle yourself down into the ground, reclining on your spine, trust that the earth beneath you, our great Mother Earth, can support you. That in that trusting you are able to let go, to relax your bones, to feel the weightiness of your bones descending down, down, down into the ground. And let the soft sinewy tissue of your muscles, of your skin, slip off the bones. Your whole body at ease, the whole body. The whole body. This body is made of earth and gold, sky and stars, rivers and oceans masquerading as muscle and bone. Every substance is here. Diamonds and silver, magical elixirs, ambrosia that gives visions, herbs that nourish and heal, the foundation of the planet, immortal magnetic ions circulating in the blood. Every element in you loves the others. Earth loves rain, sky loves sun, and sun loves the space it shines through. Space loves everyone equally. In this meditation, Luxuriate in knowing this deep and simple truth. Every cell is an organ of sense infused with majesty. So for those of you who are at home and wish to stay in Shavasana in relaxation for a little longer, by all means do. And if you are prepared to come up and to close with me, then simply bring your awareness back to your body, feeling the scintillating conscious attention, the vibration of your crystalline bones. And as you illuminate the bones of your body with your awareness, begin to sparkle your fingers, finger bones, toe bones. And from those peripheral points, a light wave of energy that pulses back to illuminate the whole of your body. Gently draw your knees in, roll yourself to the right. Bringing with you the blessings of your practice, leaving behind any disconnected energy, anything you don't need. Yielding your way back up to join me here in a comfortable upright seat. Let us bring our hands together into the gesture of Anjali Mudra, prayer pose. Taking this quiet last moment to send a wish of honouring and of gratitude to yourself, to this exquisite body, to these amazing bones, to the presence, to the connection and the prosperity that we cultivate here, together to each other and to the greatest teacher of all, that which is our true self, we say, Namaste. Thank you, dear yogis. Thank you for joining me today.